If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
UT Martin going up to Gardner-Webb, a close one there as the Bulldogs win 38-34. And, Coach, a very long drive up there, about 9 hours, 10 hours, and a very tough Gardner-Webb team. You talked about it all week, a very talented group. And just your overall thoughts on the game.
Yeah, well, disappointing. I mean, there was some – I'll tell you exactly what I told the staff. Part of the drive is – and the travels is one of the competitive advantages we have when teams come play us here. Okay, we know that. We've benefited for that for years. Well, same way there. I mean, it's 10 hours before we get there and get situated. But regardless, you return the opening kickoff and you get a short field, but you settle for a field goal. All right, then you get a poor call on fourth down at pass interference. Extends the drive and they go 19 plays on the first drive and they score. So there's some things we got to do better. There. So I didn't think we chased the ball very well in the first half on defense. I thought we missed a lot of tackles. We gave up 240 yards. We give up a sack. The back misses a protection, misses a sack. Quarterback, ball comes out of his hand. This quick six. So it's 31-20 at halftime. But my statement to our team was, okay, we're going to score 3 times, all right, and you're not going to let them score. So I was almost right, okay, as we come back out. We give up 28 yards until the last drive, okay, and we score twice, but we miss a field goal. All right, so, almost, right on there to get them. But I was proud of the kids. You get the lead back. You got an opportunity with 7 minutes left to can you get one more drive. That's when we went down, missed a field goal, get a stop, get it back, come up a yard short on a fourth down. Punt it back to them with 5 minutes left, and that's when they go on a long drive to win the game and convert, I guess, 2 or 3, 4 fourth down. So pretty disappointing with that. But here's the reality of it: just like for the last, you've won 6 games in a row, and as coaches, that's very rewarding. That's to see the players execute. They executed, we didn't. You can look at it and say they made one more play than we did. The yards were even 340 to 340. 2 pretty good defenses out there, but give them credit. They had a freshman quarterback that went the length of the field to win the game. But we didn't cover very well. We made some critical mistakes. And all of us contributed, me the most being the head coach. We got to coach better. We got to play better to win those games on the road.
Quick question, and I've seen you in the film room. We watch a game that you play, and it's over for the fans. You watch the game you play in real time, and then you live it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Some games are easier to watch than others, obviously. But your mentality as an older coach now is, I guess, to objectively just watch a game. What's that experience like in a game like you had Saturday?
Are you talking about film or what?
Film.
Yeah, I hadn't slept a whole lot, on the way back on the bus or, the last 48 hours because there as a play caller as well, not just as a head coach. As a head coach, how could you practice better? What could you have held your coaches more responsible for that they could have taught better? What is some buttons you could have pushed? I could have asked Coach Butcher to play a different defense on that last fourth down, or the one that O'Shea got the pass interference. I always have the last say so. Okay, but so I question myself on a lot of different calls. Maybe I should have done differently. And then you see, the different mistakes. Did we make the mistake because of effort? Did we make the mistake because of poor technique? Did we make the mistake because of lack of concentration, attention to detail? And usually the answer is all those things are usually yes, okay? But there's still a human element that comes, in the game. Those are the same kids that won 6 games in a row that made, certain plays. So it's not the sky can't be falling. You have to learn from it. And
you were one play away from winning the game.
Oh yeah, and it's a lot easier to correct those mistakes as when you're sitting in there. East Illinois didn't make that play. Okay,
that's right.
And it kind of reminds you you're never as good as you think. Okay, I don't care how many games you've win in a row. But we competed. We've got to do it at a higher level.
And 3 different receivers, they have a touchdown catch on Saturday. You were able to get them the ball and let them use those playmaking abilities, talking about Devontae, Marlon, Trevontae, and Zoe. I mean, how big is that just for the offense to get those guys the football and let them work in the open field?
No, that was prior to the 3 touchdown passes. We made an emphasis to try to get those guys involved, and our coaches and our players worked really hard for that. You know, we hadn't been over 200 yards passing in several weeks. The problem is we hadn't put the good rushing game together yet with the 200-yard pass game lately. Okay, the last 3 weeks, and so sometimes you can kind of get yourself in a rut. And now, players make all that better. Okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, Colton Dowell will fix that. Dresser Wynn, fix that. But you've got the players that you got, and they've all got different strengths and weaknesses. So, schematically, you're searching every week to how do you do it. They held Sam Franklin down to, like 77, 80 yards, rushing. So we haven't had that big run from Sam the last several weeks, okay? And so we got to find it. And unfortunately, this isn't a week to try to get well. This is the number 1 defense in the conference.
And we'll move on and talk to that. I mean, Tennessee Tech this weekend in Cookeville, Sergeant York Trophy on the line. It's such a big trophy in our conference in between all of the Tennessee schools. And, Coach, you just said it, Tech, one of the best defenses in the association. And for those who just look at the record, don't let that fool you. I mean, this is a really good football team that they have.
No, defensively, schematically, they Dwayne Alexander, I consider him a friend of mine, and he's done a good job. Had a new hire as the defense coordinator. Schematically, they've done a really good job. They make you earn every yard that you get. And I'll give you a good example here. We do a 4-game breakdown their last 4 games, okay? And then we kind of analyze that, and that's how we put our game plan together based on that, okay? In the last 5 games, they have not had a team has not rushed for every team has rushed for less than 100 yards in the last 5 games.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. On big plays of 15-plus yard runs or 20-plus yard passes, right? Click it on. Let me see what other teams are doing to exploit them. There's 1 big run in the last 4 games. So there's only 1 run over 15 yards. And there's only 13 passes over 20 yards.
In 5 games?
Well, it's a 4-game breakdown.
4 games.
100 yards less rushing, in the last 5, though.
Yeah.
So, that tells me they got good players, they've got good scheme, they're coached well, they're detailed out. Now they haven't been scoring a lot of points, so sometimes offenses are calling games, not trying to score, 40 points either, okay? Risking because they've got a kid that's got 7 sacks, okay, so which leads the conference. So, But so anyway, that's what you do on Sunday, Mondays. You're gathering all information, saying what are we playing, what are they good at, what gives us an advantage, or what do we have to be prepared for. So now they've been starting a freshman quarterback. They've had some trouble scoring points. So we need to play that to our advantage. And but they put you in a bind. They got a good offense coordinator, and there's a lot of triple option type things, even though it's not traditional triple option, okay, but it can be a hand, and there's you can flip it in the flat, or a quarterback can run it. There's some things that make you play assignment football that will have to be detailed out. So that's our biggest concern on defense, to make sure we don't give up a cheap one.
And, Coach, I mean, you get to this point in the season, and everybody has their strengths, everybody has their weaknesses, but when it comes to game planning this late in the season, I mean, everyone knows that UT Martin's a good rushing team. Everyone knows that SEMO can throw the ball very well. But how much do you change that throughout the season? And as you get later on, how much do you change it when you approach opponents like Tennessee Tech this week, SEMO next week, and then Sanford at the end of the year?
Well, I don't know if I got a great answer for that, but we threw the ball 37 times this past week. Okay, we only had 63 plays. Okay, so we threw it more than we ran it. And if we do a better job in the flea flicker we ran, if the guard does a better job in protection, Rucker catches the touchdown, because the quarterback couldn't get from his first read to his second read off the flea flicker because he had a 3 technique sitting in his lap. On the sack that we took, so that's 70 yards passing. Okay, and a touchdown. On the double move where we gave up the scoop and score, right? If the back picks up his protection, all right, just here's the communication. Just didn't block his guy. that one's throwing and catch with an opportunity. And so now you come out of that game with possibly 2 more touchdown passes, and you threw for 300 game. So the perception is then, okay, they've got their pass game, where they want it to go. So like I said, it's when you throw the ball well, it's offensive line, it's running backs, it's quarterbacks, it's receivers. There's a level of execution that has to happen.
And Kincaid in that second half against Gardner-Webb had a good time out there in that second half. What are you looking to build on in his performance for next week?
No, he competed well. I mean, there was, we were trying to take some shots, and they, a lot of blitzes came, and we didn't pick it up always correctly. And so, I mean, he's kind of wheeling and dealing, made a couple throws, a nice one on the little throwback to the tight end. The guy competes, and his teammates respect him for that, and so he gave us a chance in the game. I mean, he really did. Okay, the nice touchdown pass to Marlon there, the empty. Those are some good plays. I mean, those are dresser type plays from last year. He had the nice run on the counter, and was willing to do whatever he had to do for the team win. So, that was one of his better games, to be quite honest with you. Just can we, we pick the blitz up and he throws that ball away maybe if he, but he couldn't outrun the linebacker. The guy was trying to get him and he's trying to throw it out of bounds. So, we'll need him to play well this week.
And what's your message to the team now? Only what seems like, it doesn't even seem real, but 12 quarters of regular season football left.
Yeah.
I mean, you brought it up on Thursday. There were only 16.
Yeah.
Now 12 and 8 in association play. I mean, what has to happen for your team to get another 4 quarters added onto the season?
Well, if you win, if you win that game, if we intercept one of those passes in that last drive or whatever happened, you win that game, right? Then you're worried about, is this a trap game before you play SEMO? Mm-hmm. Right? That's what we're sitting here talking about. Okay, and I'm preaching the whole time how good they are on defense and what a tough game it's going to be. If we're as mature as I think that we are, and I got guys walking around the building today sticking their head in, Coach, you good, Dotson, Sam Franklin, guys that didn't have their best game, okay, and so, that leads me to believe they understand what they're dealing with. They understand the importance of this game, and, you win Sergeant York, that's great. We're fired up. That's another feather in our cap, but this gets you to next week with something to continue to play for, and I think there's a couple different roads for us to try to get in the playoffs. Okay, you still mathematically got 3 games left. You got 2 conference games left. So we probably have as many or more paths as anybody else in the conference does. All right, but you've got to go play well this week in order to keep those math equations alive.
And the UT Martin football team heading up to Cookeville. Coach, I know that it's still a road trip, but you'll appreciate that road trip a little bit more than going to Bowling.
I was just thinking, that was a long bus ride home after a loss like that.
Oh, your mind's just racing, and I'm in the front seat, man, and it's smaller than the rest of them. And I'm sitting there, I can't get comfortable, and you get the game, you pull it up, and you watch the whole game, offense, defense, special team. That killed about 2 hours of the trip, but
that's only like a quarter of the trip.
I look up and we're just now in Knoxville and we still got 6 hours left. So tough trip. I'm getting a little old for those trips.
Well, a little bit of an easier trip coming up to Cookeville this week.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
Halloween coming up tomorrow. The question, your favorite Halloween candy. And Coach Wilson, I guess we'll let you go first.
I'll go first. I have a sweet tooth. It kind of depends on the day. I'm a big Starburst gal. But I think around, this is kind of gross. I feel like people are going to be grossed out, but candy corn, I really haven't tried to not get into it the last couple years. But if I do, it's like, I could eat a whole bag.
No, I'm with you right there. And here's why. Because I don't eat candy corn any other time of year. So it's like once a year.
But it's like eating wax, but it's like just pure sugar. I don't know what it is. But if I get a bag, I'm going to eat the whole bag.
Favorite Starburst flavor, though? You brought up Starburst.
It always was pink, but
I
mean, it's kind of orange might be the new.
Orange?
Yeah, red's my least favorite.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what? I'm sad to say I thought they all tasted the same. So.
No.
Oh
for that
gosh.
crowd, it does not. For that crowd, it does not. And it's the same people who think that Skittles all taste the same. They don't.
They don't.
There's flavors written on the bag for a reason. Coach Varga.
I'm not much of a candy person, but if I had to choose, I'd probably break my teeth apart on some Gobstoppers.
Oh.
I'd go with
Ooh,
Gobstopper.
that's a good throwback.
Okay, I like the
I
Gobstopper.
did
Scott,
love
what
some
is there a flavor of a Gobstopper?
No,
I'm not
you-
familiar with the.
No, I think there are all kinds of different flavors once you get through different layers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we got to get pickle juice and we got to get Gobstoppers on
The
the
other
show
one
next
would be, you know, the Cracker Barrel Jawbreakers.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good too, but not good for your teeth.
No.
I don't recommend those.
None of it's good for your teeth. Starburst.
Coach Tony, what have you got? What's your favorite?
I'm not a big chocolate guy. I'd probably say something like sour punch straws, like Warheads. I'm not too much of a sweets guy, but like sour, like I will sour
The
or
Airheads Extreme.
yeah,
Those are
some-
awesome.
Or some hot tamales or something like.
Those are awesome. Those are good stuff. We're going to ask one more. This will be our final one. So just quickly, your favorite Halloween costume you have ever worn. Coach Wilson, I know you've got the kiddos. What are they dressing up as tomorrow?
Oh goodness, a little mouse and
Okay.
Bluey.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
from- okay.
the oldest was between like hot dog and a bun, which I was really pushing for.
Yeah.
Because I love that she's not going with the Barbie, but she decided on a mouse.
Okay.
It looks warm and toasty, so it's good because it's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
And then Bluey, the littlest wanted Bluey, so there we go. For me, we do a Halloween practice every year, so we've had some interesting costumes. We've gone as Dumb and Dumber. Julia and I, we always kind of coordinate. We have ours tonight. So I'm not going to spoil our costumes, but we've done Elsa and Olaf. Julia went as Olaf. That was pretty great.
Were you
but-
Jim Carrey or Jeff Daniels? Which one were you in Dumb and Dumber?
Oh goodness, I was Jeff Daniels. No, I was Jim Carrey. I was orange. Orange. Yeah.
Coach Varga?
Yeah, I never put a lot into the dress up either, but I always had sport jerseys. So normally it was a Cleveland Browns jersey, which you can feel sorry for that growing up. But people would give me more candy because I had a Cleveland Browns jersey on, I guess.
They'd be like,
I'm gonna-
hey, you can get whatever you
I'm
want.
going to cut back last year. I forgot we were mimes and we didn't speak the entire practice.
Oh.
It was a good one.
That was a good
It was
one.
a good one.
Very
it was
well
a nice
designed.
break for us.
It was. I bet it
that's
was.
Funny. And I
Coach
love costume strategy. What costume
yeah.
will get me the most
Candy.
Put on the Browns. People feel
So
sorry
go
for you.
sympathy. Okay.
They're with the sympathy crowd. Coach Toy, you can wrap us up.
I'd say the best one I've worn is I was Aladdin one year.
Oh, okay.
It was good. It was pretty basic costume, but it was good. It was a fun night in college.
Chris, we got to ask
I
you.
dressed up like an angel one year.
An angel?
I had a halo. Yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah.
need to find that picture.
What about you, Davis?
I think one time I was Spider-Man and Batman one time. My brother, there's a picture that my mom has. I need her to go and find it. But my brother had this super scary mask, and we were out on the porch taking pictures before we went trick-or-treating, and he came out and scared the mess out of me. And in these pictures, I'm like 3 or 4, and I am sobbing, crying. And my mom is having to hold me. It was an awful time. I will never forgive him for that. That was terrible. He also scared me. I was upstairs having to go get something for my mom. And it was that day. It was Halloween day. And he's hiding in the closet. And I go over and I'm trying to get something. And the closet door just bursts open. He has that mask on. And I still got to get him back for that. I still have to find a way to be able to get him
You
back.
might still need therapy for that.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I might need something.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk Podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.